Thank you very much, Pietro, and I would like to say good day to all of you, because you are in different time zones. And I'm really honored to present to you the EPOA position with regard to palm oil-free claims. And hopefully we can identify some strategy to deal with these claims, because these claims, as we have just heard, and again, they are seriously complicating our endeavor to move towards 100% sustainable palm oil. Could I have the first slide, please? Forgot that. And the second slide, please. Next one. Okay, just let me briefly introduce the European Palm Oil Alliance. We are firmly believers that sustainable palm oil is a key food ingredient that will help feed the world, help protect biodiversity, and improve socio-economic development, and overall contributes to achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, as also already mentioned by Dr. Basiron. All our members are in the vegetable oil refiners and industry associations, and we also are supported also by industry associations in consumer and in producer countries, which is quite important, I think. Next slide, please. One positive message that I can give you, of course, is now that there's growing government support for sustainable palm oil in Europe. You can see that now already 9 countries signed the renewed Amsterdam Declaration, Partnership and Commitment 2025. So that is a good message. Then please, next slide. Another positive message is that we have a very strong network in Europe with up to now already 13 national initiatives who are really the feet and eyes on the ground and who can make the difference in the countries. Next slide, please. Well, here you see the slide that has also been shown on Spot some time ago with the uptake of sustainable palm oil for Europe in 2020. And as you can see, we have now reached a new record high of 90%. So it is at this time in moment much harder or even almost impossible to find products that contain unsustainable palm oil. So you can only have, 9 out of 10 products contains sustainable palm oil. But even so, this positive news seems not to have reached the market, as palm oil-free claims are still used in abundance. I would like to point out at this time that the sustainability includes both environment and also social issues, just to be sure that it's not only deforestation, but there are also other aspects to take into account. Next slide, please. Well, like I said, foods free from palm oil are still being used a lot, but they are not by definition healthier or more sustainable than foods that contain sustainable palm oil. And as said before, free from palm oil products disrupt the markets moving towards sustainable palm oil. Laura, I would like to show the movie here. It's on the slide 1 further down. Slide number 6, number 6, where we have the small movie, of the short movie where we Okay, thank you very much for that. Yes, here we are. Next slide, please. Well, as you saw in the movie, this might be a way to inform consumers about the right things about sustainable palm oil. But how can we tackle the disruptive free from palm oil claims? I think we should take into account three aspects. First of all, EU legislation. Secondly, consumer perception, and lastly, the possible options for action. Next slide, please. For the EU legislation, we can look at, and I think we have looked at legislation concerning nutrition claims, the food information to consumer legislation, and claims on cosmetics products. And also, I think Farm to Fork might give some openings. The more legal complete texts are in the presentation that you will get after the webinar, but I don't think it would be useful to put all the articles and the legal texts in this presentation, as this is not a really legal presentation. And you may be wondering what claims for cosmetic products is doing here, but we will get to that in the end. Next slide, please. Okay, when we look at consumer perception, palm oil could mean to consumers, it could be just an ingredient like any other ingredient. It could mean for them that palm oil is bad because it contains saturated fat, like Pietro, I think, mentioned already. That was where we started with the free from palm oil claims. They could also think that palm oil is bad because it's not sustainable and it is the cause of deforestation. Therefore, for them, palm oil free could be either neutral. If they think it is just an ingredient like any other, then if it's not in there, that could be neutral. But it could also be positive in the consumer's perception because palm oil is bad. If it's bad and it's not in there, then the product would be right. But the implicit or explicit information given by companies and organizations using these free from palm oil claims is in such a way that I think it's safe to conclude that a lot of consumers will have a negative perception of palm oil because of the claims. Next slide, please. I would also like to point out at this point that also, I think Pietro mentioned that also already, that legislation is at EU level, but the execution of compliance is at national level. So this is normally, and also in this case, clearly a cause for non-harmonization. And also, I think in none of the EU member states, there is a clear jurisdiction. I mean, this kind of claims, then you can either go through advertising associations, or you have to go to competition authorities, or it is the food law enforcement authorities. So it is, or civil law. So it's not really clear if you have a complaint about free from palm oil claims where you can launch that claim. This is also a complicating thing. Then I would like to have the next slide, please. So what could we argue against the free from claims on the sustainability aspect? We could say that consumers are misled because they will see free from palm oil as better or more sustainable than other products. However, they should prove this if you use a claim like that, but this is hardly ever done. It is some sort of, it's implicated, or it's a little bit suggested in some places. So that's always a bit fake. On the nutrition side, consumers will understand free from palm oil as meaning that it's low in saturates or reduced in saturates, and therefore no palm claim would be in violation with the claims regulation because it does not fulfill the requirements for either of these two claims. Then we have the labeling legislation. And then you could argue that in general, a free from claim is misleading because there is already in the legislation the obligation to mention the ingredients in the list of ingredients. If something is not present in the product, it will not be in the list of ingredients. So there is really no need to highlight the fact that certain ingredients are not present. Next slide, please. So how could we stabilize the market for sustainable palm oil? And at the same time also give counterweights to the use of free from palm oil claims. At EPOA, we believe that with more positive and honest information on sustainable palm oil, there is less need for advertising palm oil free, because if everybody knows that palm oil, sustainable palm oil is positive, then there's no need to say that there's no palm oil in products. And for this, all players in the palm oil chain absolutely, we think, need to work together. So it's not only producers and producing countries, but also and especially, we believe, manufacturers, retailers, scientists, and NGOs. And we should, in the information given, also include misconceptions on nutritional aspects, just to make the picture complete. We should amplify this information with social media, and together we can make sustainable palm oil the sexy, attractive alternative. That is our belief, and that is what we are aiming for. Next slide, please. So how can we counter palm oil free claims? We think what we need is to engage in an open dialogue to find out why free from claims are used, and explain, with, like I said, with honest and transparent information, that by using these palm oil free claims, consumers are likely to be misled, both on nutrition and or sustainability aspects. We should stimulate different players in the palm oil chain to join SPOC, the Sustainable Palm Oil Choice, RSPO, and or national initiatives, so we can jointly inform about the goodness of sustainable palm oil. And we should investigate options for regulation at international EU level. Getting into the last part, I would like to have the next slide, please. Because the options for regulating palm oil free claims as we see them at the moment are the following. On the nutrition claim side, this may be cumbersome to achieve, as this has to be tackled, like I said before, on member state level, which is not harmonized and can be quite labor intensive and expensive as well. The same goes for the relation with FIC and ingredients. As for option 3, the lobby for explicit prohibition of free from XYZ claims in relation to sustainability, I think that could be a successful way in relation with the farm to fork strategy. And lastly, I would like to have a look at the legislation on conditions for the use of claims in cosmetic products. This, you may be very surprised to find this, but in the next slide, I will show you why we think that could be of help. Next slide, please. For cosmetics, there is legislation in the EU on the conditions for using claims. And especially interesting is point 5 in the annex, which states the following, and I will read it out to you. Claims for cosmetic products shall be objective and shall not denigrate the competitors, nor shall they denigrate ingredients legally used. Next slide, please. And as palm oil is a legally permitted ingredient, any free from palm oil claim on cosmetic products can be opposed legally. And well, we were wondering whether we can try once to have the same conditions to apply for foods. And I'm really looking forward to your opinion on whether this could also work for foodstuffs.